This is the calm before the storm. It's a very heartwarming episode about Christmas, even though it's technically summer by the time this review gets up. Or wait, summer's over. Early autumn maybe? Well, regardless, it is Christmas time in the Boku no Hero Academia universe by the time this episode drops. And it has its Christmas joy. It is all to foreshadow the enormous amount of despair that's going to happen sooner or later. If not this year, at least next year. And I mean that in real lifetime. The angry anime fan here with Boku no Hero Academia 242. The teachers are all wondering about this internship that is hastened. Because it turns out that the one who actually have encouraged UA, or probably all the other schools when I think about it, is the police commissioner. Because it turns out we all know that they were the ones that made Hawk go undercover in the League of Villains. And Hawk now have seen just how frighteningly powerful Shigaraki has become. So I still find it pretty strange that he's actually keeping his word and giving news to the police. The question is though, is Hawk able to tell them everything of what Shigaraki is doing right now? Or is he just dropping them hints saying there is a storm bigger than anything else? However, the teacher heroes are actually smarter than they look. They all suspect that, as Midnight's hero points out one thing, are they saying that we don't have enough manpower despite having more heroes than ever? Showing that the world of it in My Hero Academia has a lot of heroes. And the fact that Hawk considers all of that nothing just shows how dangerous Shigaraki is now. And the teachers here are actually smart. They can of course not realize just how powerful Shigaraki has become. But they do realize that something happened in Deka City. And they believe the League of Villains is involved. So they are very smarter than they look. But of course, they don't know what it is. They are only mentioned that the police commissioner are doing it wordily, and this is a sign of imminent danger. The police commissioner, as we all know, the police commissioner was against the festival a long time ago because, well, he felt of it all. But this actually makes me a little bit worried. The police have said that they're pretty incompetent, especially after All Might's retirement. But what I meant to say is Hawk really unable to tell the police everything on what is happening right now, and therefore they are doing this vaguely? Or is it that the police do not trust the heroes? I mean, granted for what has happened, especially after Shigaraki's reign of power and the Metal Liberation Army, then maybe it's not too wrong to assume that the police do not trust the heroes. I mean, they did say that Endeavor didn't have enough charisma to be a #1 hero. So, but the fact that they're not telling UA is a very dangerous sign. Regardless, that they know that the danger is here and they're preparing. Elsewhere, the principal is talking to All Might and Naoma, who seems to be on some kind of meeting. For me, it almost looks like a funeral, but maybe it's not. Now we actually see just how thin All Might have become. He is comically thin. But yeah, after all that seriousness, we actually enter now Merry Christmas, where everyone, except of course Bakugo, for now, has actually dressed up in Santa units. Suyu-chan with showing her legs. That is a treat. Well, I can say the same about Momo. The fact that Uchako and Kei is not doing that is just a little bit strange. Either way, they're having the fun, celebrating the fact, and wondering who is gonna go to who. Suyu-chan and Uchako are probably going back to Ryuku, but we're probably not gonna see them. And Deku can unfortunately not go to Night Eye's office, because it turns out that even though Centipeder has inherited the office, it turns out that Midnight was so good handling paperwork that they were never overloaded. But now that he is gone, they are overloaded with paper and therefore cannot do as much and cannot take in everything else. That actually makes sense, because in an extra information it was revealed that Night Eye actually did the paperwork for All Might when they were sidekick and hero friends. So, given the fact that All Might is all about save and no writing, I mean, don't get me wrong, he follows the law, but All Might was the paragon. He didn't. I don't think he believed in paperwork. That doesn't mean he wouldn't sign it. I just think he was pretty incompetent in that. The fact that Night Eye was not just shows how much of a stickler of rules he was. But here is also one big surprise. As we all know, Best Genius is likely dead after what Hawks has done. And the other guys wonders if Bakugo is going to assume to go to Best Genius. As we all know, he treated that experience as very However, this flashback seems to imply that he has taken some of Best Genius' advice to heart. I mean, some. It turns out the reason how he actually got to sit down and have his hair done was actually because Best Genius trapped him with his quirk. That was kind of fun. And the fact that he said that he didn't like the hero names that Bakugo has. Everyone is Explosion Murder. I mean, it's... Bakugo, you are insane. Either way, he said that a name is... Best Genius says, a name is a wish. It is what you want and what you ought to be. Yet you have yet to look outwards. I would like to show you the outside world. Once you become a second year and receive your provisional edition, come back here, and when that time comes, I will help you tell your name once again. This seems to suggest that as cold as Bakugo is, especially now that he has matured. Note, I'm saying matured. He's still asshole and scum to me. I think he is beginning to feel Best Genius' advice to heart. And of course he doesn't want to be dressed up at all. Later on it's also revealed that Sugar Man can actually cook. Well, he was an expert baker, but the fact that he's an expert cook as well, that's kind of cool. And then Eri-chan enters in a Santa outfit, and let me tell you, she looks adorable. I'm almost crying. Just how adorable she looks. It's even funnier the fact that she mistakes Christmas for trick or treat. Well, given her abusive childhood, it's not that surprising. That is not exactly something to laugh at. It's kind of tragic, but the fact that she is willing to do all that is still is a little bit adorable. And it turns out that Mirio is celebrating with his classmates. I guess they are still very friends. The Horn of Eri is still growing very big, but still not in danger here yet. I do hope... I think one day the Metal Liberation Army are gonna come after Eri. And I do hope Mirio can be there to defend her. I know he doesn't have a quirk, but Mirio is always Lemillion, so I think he can still fight. But I hope in that situation, when it seems like he's fatally wounded, that Eri will activate the quirk and not only rewind his wounds, but also rewind back his quirk and give back everything. I hope we'll have a scenario like this so we can have some hope. Because Eri's power, I think that is one of the keys to end this all. Unless of course she loses it. Regardless, she even had painted eggs even though that's Easter. So everyone celebrates Christmas while Erfon Jaco is singing together with Denki. Who, as you all remember, last time Denki did this. We still don't know why he did it, but I hope it's nothing serious. It's not as serious as I think it is. And then it turns out they're having White Christmas, and Bakugo finally got the Christmas outfit on, although very reluctantly. Turns out the White Christmas is, each one buys a present and then they share it all. And I think I can see some gifts are gifts. I mean, Bakugo gets glasses, very likely from Idea. Zero gets a frog glass mirror. Maybe that is meant to be representative of Suyu. Ashido gets a dumbbell. Is that Kirishima? But either, I don't know what he gets. Does he get a model of something? I don't know what that is, though. And Denki gets sad, he gets a basketball. I wonder what that is. But Earphone Jacko gets, well, a nice set of furniture that's very like Zero. What is more fun is the fact that Deku gets a mochi bag and Uchako and All Might the keychain. They get each other's gifts. And I think they do one more where it turns out that Tsukuyamu has actually bought a nice blade. You know, it almost looks like, well, it doesn't look like a key blade from, Kingdom Hearts, but it almost looks like a Final Fantasy blade. Either way, they have them mixed, and it turns out that Eri-chan gets the blade. Regardless, this chapter ends with everyone cleaning up, but with Shoto asking Bakugo and Deku if they want to join him as interns of Endeavor. Well, the three strongest students teaming up for Endeavor, who is currently the #1 hero. That is actually not a bad idea. Granted, I do not want to see Bakugo this arc. He is disgusting, he is filth, and he is lower than any filth on my boot. But Shoto, Deku, and Bakugo are the top 3 strongest students, and they are entering at the #1 hero Endeavor, who despite all his flaws is a hero that earned his ranking. This could actually be pretty good. This could... maybe this will highlight Bakugo's character development, because if you think about it, Bakugo and Endeavor have a lot of things in common. They're both arrogant, they're both pricks, they both have very cynical eyes, and they're both slowly going through character development and realizing what kind of people they are. The only thing is that Endeavor has realized what kind of person he is and is trying to change it, while Bakugo hasn't and is still trying to be who he is because he doesn't want to change. Or maybe he feels like it's too late for him, he's irredeemable. But Deku teaming up in that place though, isn't it very dangerous? Endeavor may actually find out the secret. Or maybe Shoto will. Well, Shoto will get the spotlight, maybe that is good. But if they team up together, maybe we will have a Dabi situation here again. Regardless, this was a very warm and fuzzy episode for a Christmas one. It's a calm before the storm. But I think we needed a heartwarming now one. Because we do not know what kind of despair awaits us. Give me your thoughts if you have any.